Hi there, and welcome to our Excellence Assembly on Friday, the 5th of March. It's lovely to be sharing with you the excellence of the children at Bethersden Primary School for this week. The last week when we won't have our children with us in the school. I'm sure you're looking forward to it as much as we are, having the children back in school, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. For now though, it's time to celebrate the excellence of our children in Bumblebee class. Our first award this week is presented to Obi, who has been working so hard with remembering his sounds, and the team is so impressed with how beautifully you are starting to read. Your team of Mrs Osborne and Miss Finn are proud of how you always are on fire when you're doing your speedy sounds. Well done to you, Obi, keep it up, and we look forward to continuing that next week when you're back in school. Our second award this week is for Freya, who's been fitting back into school life beautifully. Your team are so impressed with how kind you've been to your friends and how you've been remembering and following the school rules like a superstar. Mrs Osborne and Miss Finn are so proud of how hard you're working with your reading. Keep up the brilliant work, Freya. A big well done from everybody here. Moving into our class now. Our first award this week is presented to Phoebe Jane, who's having such a fantastic and positive attitude towards her learning throughout lockdown. Phoebe, you have worked hard at home and equally as hard since you've returned to our classrooms. Your strong work ethic has shone through during this difficult time, and you've produced some lovely, careful pieces of learning. The team are particularly impressed with your beautiful Chinese lantern you made. Well done, Phoebe Jane. That comes from Mrs Green, Mrs Moss, Mrs Grace, Mrs Simmons and Miss Hoogan. Second award this week in our class is for you, Matilda, for working really hard in every session throughout lockdown. It's not always been easy learning remotely, but the team are so proud of how you've tackled each and every situation. You've produced some lovely pieces of writing in English. Your "Well I Never" roll sounds particularly delicious. We were so impressed with the Lego moss that you made at home when we saw photos of that last week. What a super and creative idea. Well done, Matilda, from Mrs Moss, Mrs Green, Mrs Grace, Miss Simmons and Miss Hoogan. Dear class this week have a very special award, because Mr Cook and Miss Simpson would like to reward all of the Dear class learners, and this Excellence Award is for all the children in Dear class who have engaged regularly with the remote learning, either when they're in school or those who've been at home. For those of you who log on every day, you've done a fantastic job when participating in the live lessons, joining in the discussions, answering questions just like you would have done when you're in class. The work you've uploaded or emailed has often been appropriate and interesting, and well done for persevering through a really challenging period. We're so proud of each and every one of you that's regularly logged on, and we can't wait to see you all again next week in person. And that comes with a big well done from Mr Cook and from Miss Simpson. Moving into Otter class this week. Our first award this week is presented to Connor for his focused and mature attitude towards his studies during remote learning in 2021. Connor has attended every lesson and worked hard throughout, and the team are looking forward to seeing him carry on into term 4 and beyond when the whole class returns together next week. Well done to you, Connor. That comes from Mrs Solomon, Mr Clark and Miss Mexter. Our second award this week is for you, Delta Louise, for your consistent high standard of work which you've maintained throughout this lockdown. You've displayed a focused and mature approach at all times, and your recent writing on the inspirational leader Boudica was impressive. A big well done to you from Mrs Solomon, Mr Clark and Miss Mexter. Moving into Badger class now. The first award this week is presented to you, Imogen, for your enthusiasm during last week's science lesson. It was lovely to see you so engaged with the topic, and you made some valuable contributions sharing the ways in which humans change during each and every stage of development. A big well done to you, Imogen, from Miss Bennett and Mrs Smith. Second award this week goes to Jamie for his growing confidence in maths. It's been lovely to see you applying your methods with greater accuracy and using resources to support yourself. Your willingness to participate in group work also demonstrates that you're starting to believe in yourself, which is so important. Keep it up, Jamie. A big well done from Miss Bennett and from Mrs Smith. Now, Fox class this week. The first award this week is presented to Alex for the best sense of humour during remote learning. Alex, you have boosted morale every day with your cheery spirit, your lockdown fringe and your wide range of jokes. Well done, young man. All we need to do now is to work on your delivery. That comes with a big well done from Mr Clark and from Mrs Taylor. There's a second award this week for Lois, who has been focused and diligent in her approach to all the studies during remote learning. You've attended every lesson, submitted every assignment, and you've achieved consistently high standards throughout, as you do when you are in school. A big well done to you, Lois, from Mr. Clark and from Mrs. Taylor. Now we have a very special award this week. This award is presented to Mrs. Henshaw, who has just completed her 5th year of service at Featherstone Primary School. We thank you for all the contributions you make, both with the children and with the families in this school, and also supporting all of the team with the many tasks you undertake. Well done and thank you. Now, birthdays this week, just 2 to celebrate this week. Levi, it was your 5th birthday this week and we hope you had a wonderful time. We look forward to seeing you next week. And on Tuesday, Mr. Beale, our hard-working caretaker, celebrated a birthday and we know he had a great day. Happy birthday to both of you. Thank you. Now, as you will know, we are very much looking forward to welcoming all children back to school from next Monday, the 8th of March. We are returning. Everything is ready for you. The classrooms are ready, the teachers are ready, and most importantly, your friends are ready and waiting to welcome you back. We will be sending home a parent mail later today with a newsletter from each class, as well as a letter about the general reopening instructions. Please do make sure you're checking those letters so that you know what the procedures are for next week. It will make the week so much smoother and so much safer for everybody if we can all stick to the guidelines. One thing I would just draw attention to, please do be on time in the mornings and lined up at the designated start time for the class. It's not a window of time slots because we do need to maintain social distancing, and by having everybody lined up at one go, the children can go into the school safely without crossing any other bubbles, and we can also get the parents home as safely and quickly as possible. As I say, please do check the information carefully, and if you have any questions, contact the school using the families@featherstone.kent.sch.uk email address, which will come up a little bit later in this presentation. On behalf of everybody in the school, we'd like to thank you all for your support during this lockdown. It's not what any of us wanted, but we are so grateful for the support you've shown your children with supporting them with the remote learning, but also the many positive comments we've received as a school during this time. We are so grateful that you acknowledge the hard work that the teachers and support staff have put in during this lockdown. We are very much looking forward to welcoming you all back next week. Finally, as always, just a reminder that there is lots of information available on Parent Mail for you, and as I say, a letter will be coming out a little bit later on this afternoon. Here are ways to stay in touch with the school. We've got our website, which contains the class newsletters, the class timetables, all the reopening information and the risk assessment that has been completed for the reopening on Monday. We've also got a Twitter feed where you can see some wonderful photos of World Book Day from this week, which I'd like to thank Miss Bennett for her hard work on preparing. Our YouTube channel, where you are watching today's assembly, contains a back catalogue of every lockdown assembly we have performed, as well as our performances. And there again is the most efficient way to contact members of staff during this time, which is our email address dedicated to the families at Featherstone Primary School. Do contact us. The letter is checked regularly throughout the day and also at weekends. And as I say, it is the quickest way to get a message to the relevant members of staff. And finally, just a reminder that we are looking forward to seeing you all back next Monday, the 8th of March, when we all return to Featherstone Primary School and continue with our journey of excellence. Take care this weekend, get plenty of rest, and we will see you on Monday morning. Bye for now.